Hey guys, welcome to the Scottie Show. Today I have a very special guest. Her name is Elajah. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. On the Scottie Show, we talk about everything. But first and foremost, Elajah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I had a productive day today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just share to the show who you are and like what you like to do and the things that you're into. I see your fingernails like you got you got some. Yeah.
These are crazy.
Yeah, that's dope. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, so you're probably gonna laugh at this. So I actually I was a full-time student. I just graduated from Rutgers with my BA in psychology.
Okay.
I actually work at a church right now though, as a
Yeah.
youth leader. Yeah, I do quite a few things there. But the main thing I do is the youth group. So
Okay.
that's, yeah, but I'm gonna go into like the psych field and I'm looking into all of that. I'm trying to think of anything else interesting about me. I live in Jersey, from Jersey. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not from Jersey. I moved a lot around, like a lot, honestly. But Jersey is where I am now for the
Okay.
last like few years. Yeah. But
How do you like working in the church?
I like it. Church is interesting because I feel like it's a lot different than regular jobs because it's like a job, but it's like not a job at the same time, if that makes sense, because
Mm-hmm.
it's so incorporated in like real life. Like jobs you can leave and you don't have to think about it after. Like you go to church because that's like a lifestyle for you, so it's very
Yeah.
interesting. But I like it. It's something I've never like done before. I grew up in the church. I'm a pastor's kid. So
Yeah.
I've been around church for like ever. But um I don't know, like it's very interesting. I've definitely had to step a lot out of my comfort zone because I'm a very shy, introverted person,
Yeah.
and it forces me to go way outside of that. So
I
I don't know.
definitely feel that. I can relate to that because I grew up in the church with my family and stuff.
Oh
But I
wow.
know and are you Mexican? Are you Puerto Rican? Because I see your last name is Vasquez, so I'm thinking like
Yeah.
that. I know
I'm
I know a lot of Latino people are they're into that, like they're like they're heavy with like their religion, like they ride for that shit. So like I was like,
yeah. I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican I'm like mixed with a couple other things, but that's like the main ones that I just say.
yeah.
Um but church, so I didn't grow up in a Spanish church.
uh,
I grew up in like, truthfully, we lived around like in the suburbs a lot, so I grew up in like white church basically.
yeah.
I mean, this church is different. It's a lot more diverse because I moved around a lot. I was like in Florida, Texas was like not diverse at all. But
Yeah.
this one pretty, so I didn't grow up in like Spanish church, but yeah, my stepdad and my mom, they're
Mm,
the pastors, and so they were obviously very into church. So it
yeah.
wasn't really like a Spanish church thing, but a lot of Spanish people ride like super hard
Yeah.
for like religion and everything.
Okay. So like how was like because like I can see like your style a little bit. Where does some of your influences come from? Like where like your style and like the things that you post on your Twitter account and things like that. Where does that like that come from?
um I feel like it comes from everything. I spent like a lot of time like figuring out like my style, I want to say, but I feel a lot more comfortable. Like I like a lot of stuff. Like I'm a person that gets along with a lot of people, like even if we don't particularly have a lot of like things in common. But I don't know, I like a lot of stuff and I just kind of like mush it all together in some ways. And it's a little chaotic, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everything's like something I like.
Yeah. All right. What were some of the things that you were into, when you were in high school and stuff? Like what was like your things that like you had you had the skater kids, you had the goth kids over there, you had the football players and like the athletes over there. What was your thing? What was your thing?
I So I was like, again, I was like a little bit of everything. I went through like 15 phases in high school. It was ridiculous. My family makes fun of me all the time. I played sports, but I also had like a hipster vibe going on for a little bit. It was the corniest thing of my whole life. Um, and then I've gotten into like, I guess, goth stuff, but I don't like, I wasn't really goth, but I liked like black clothes. So I don't know. A lot of
Yeah.
people, like a lot of people associate the same
Associate, yeah,
thing.
black clothes with got being goth. Yeah.
Yeah, and like being emo and stuff. And like, I don't know, I guess some things like fell under that umbrella. But yeah, I like used to play sports. I quit that like my freshman year. I was part of this organization, like a business club. So I was like into that kind of, I don't know. I just like, I was kind of everywhere. I'm just kind of everywhere.
Yeah, you're pretty like so like you're pretty much like well versed in like all different types of groups of people, pretty much. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think it's
dope.
very
Yeah,
weird to be confined to like, I mean, I
one
don't,
thing.
I'm not trying to like, yeah, but I think like everybody has something that's kind of like cool about them in a way.
Yeah,
So
definitely,
it was always weird to hang out with just one group of people for me. And
definitely.
being in so many things, it's like, how can I hang out with one group of people?
Yeah. How do you like living in Jersey? What is that like?
I love Jersey. I love Jersey. I just moved to Jersey City. So that's like right across like the river from New York. So I love New York. I love Jersey. It's a lot better than like almost everywhere else I've lived, because I was born in New York in the Bronx, but we kind of moved, I think, when I was like 9 months. So I didn't even live there long. Moved to
Mm,
Florida, Connecticut, Texas, then Jersey. So I
So you
think
ended up
Jersey,
going all the way back to like you pretty much ended up back on the East Coast again.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
All of us kind of came back to square one.
yeah,
But yeah, Jersey is one of my favorite places to live for sure. I just love how like, I mean, I feel like it's like New York 2.0 in a way, like it's a melting pot in a lot of ways. There's so much
yeah.
things to do. It's really beautiful. It's like city, but like you get a lot of nature. There's a lot of trees as well and all that. Like it's just a mix
Mm,
of everything. So I love it.
mm. Yeah, I've never been to Jersey. Is it like is is New York? Because like people say
New
like
York's cooler. New York's cooler than us
people
for
say
sure.
like yeah people say like New York like there's rude people there. Like, do you think that people are like rude in New York, or do you just think that people just got tough skin? Because people will say where I'm from is people are rude. I'm from Peoria, Illinois. It's a small
Oh,
ass,
wow.
yeah, it's a small ass town. Do you know who Richard Pryor is? He's like one,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's where Richard Pryor is from. He's from
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
Wow. I don't know much about Illinois at all.
yeah. Yeah. Illinois is just like it's just like one of like unless you like go to Chicago, you're pretty much not going anywhere else in Illinois. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's the only thing I know is Chicago, and I really don't even know much there
yeah,
except like the bean. But
yeah,
I don't know. They're not, it's like I understand why people think they're rude. I guess like they're standoffish, like they seem standoffish in a way, but I feel like
yeah.
once you talk to people, it's not like that. Like if anything, I feel like Southern hospitality, I feel like people are a lot more like real and genuine with like being hospitable up here. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Like living in Texas and then living up here, I think it's just a lot more genuine up here.
Mm, okay. Okay. So let's dive into this these conspiracy theories. So the
Yes.
first one we wanted to talk about was 9/11. And you were born in New York and you're in Jersey.
Yeah.
What is how was it like living in an area where that happened? Like you're not like directly in that area, but like
Hmm.
you're in like the vicinity of it. Like what is
Yeah.
that like when you like just walking around and you might just like look just looking and you're just like this happened here. Like how does that feel?
It's a very weird thing, especially not remembering it because I was so young. It was 2001. I was born in 97. So I was very young. I don't even know how I knew about 9/11. I feel like I just woke up one day with the knowledge of 9/11 because my
Yeah.
parents didn't tell me. But it's just, I mean, people don't talk about it here. A lot of people don't talk about it here. If you're in New York and you say 9/11 out loud, like you'll get looks, but it's not, I don't know. It's just kind of like out of sight, out of mind up here. I think it's kind of weird for me
Is
because
it
when I'm coming,
almost? Is it almost as if it like didn't happen? Is that how is that kind of like how people like treat it when they don't talk about it?
It's not, they don't treat it like it didn't happen. They treat it like they don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. And
Because
I
I
mean
think,
no disrespect either by saying that.
yeah, absolutely. All respect to anybody watching this.
Yeah.
But I think it's a difficult topic for people because there's so much questions around it and what really happened. Like there's so much family that still does not have answers and are still pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
And think that like none of them, I don't think, feel like they got compensated in really any way. I don't know. It is weird though. Like I come home, and when I come home, I see the trade center that they have now every single day when I'm coming home. So it's weird to think like something like that happened, and the building kind of looks like sad. I don't know. It's just like a sad thing that people don't really talk about.
So what do you think? Like from what you looked into, so from what I know, it sounded like it was a controlled demolition. What is
Yeah,
is that pretty much like the direction that you think that was like is that what you think that happened to it?
yeah, I think for sure it was I think it was totally the government got away with it. Absolutely. And I think it was controlled demolition because it just never, like you see controlled demolition videos and you see like other things getting crashed into, because that's not the first time that something's been crashed into a building, you know? So you see, like you compare those and there's no way that it would all of a sudden go down like that.
Yeah, go all the way down, yeah.
Like that just, there's so many things that just don't make sense. And like
one of the things that I found out about 9/11 is that they were already doing like tests, like so there were already jets in the sky already doing like test maneuvers and stuff for hijackings and things like that while this is going on. And then so happenly the plane was hijacked and it ran into a building. And then you know George Bush was reading wasn't it was he reading like Cat in the Hat to like some
I have a bone to pick with that man in this, let me tell you. I don't know what he was reading, but he was reading.
Yeah. So what do you think about George Bush?
I think I don't know if he was like a main player as much as like he let it happen. Like I feel like in ways he let it happen more than he was like moving part and making it happen. I think he just let it happen and was like, you know, at the end of the day, the United States is selfish with absolutely everything. So like,
yeah,
why would he care?
Do you know some people think that so this is the Bush clan. So you have George Bush Sr. George Bush Sr. people think that he tried to kill JFK. And then you got George, you got George H.W. Bush, and then they say Barack Obama is related to George Bush, they're cousins, and
I've heard
Obama is a part of the Bush clan. So George Bush Sr. has been running everything all the way up until Barack Obama. That is what like from the research that I have been looking at, it's mind blowing. You gotta look into that.
Related. Yeah, I heard they were related.
There's pictures. Yeah, there's pictures of a young little Barack Obama with George Bush, and they're like kids and shit. And like, yeah.
You're lying. No way.
Yeah, and there's pictures of Barack Obama living in India. He's lived in India and all types of other places, and that's where, like, when he was running for president, me, like when they were saying like, oh, like he's not an American citizen. I was thinking, oh, these people are just trying to like. I thought motherfuckers was just trying to be racist, but then when you look into it, I was like, maybe this nigga not from fucking like and like you got, because you have the Clintons and all them, because like the Clintons, you know, like they kill people, like they have the Clinton body. You look into that kind of stuff. So it's just like so like a lot of people think that like, you know, George Bush Sr. until he died, he was running the show all the way up until Barack Obama, which is, it's crazy because you know, some of the like he ran some of the same policies as George Bush and George Bush. And the reason why JFK got assassinated was because in one of his speeches he said, by the time I'm done, the CIA will be in ashes. And now like there's laws now where if you, let's just say you go into court and you say the
Mm-hmm.
CIA is looking at is watching me, and you say that in court, they will deem you insane and they will put you in a crazy house.
What? I did not know any of this information. Wait, so why would senior want JFK dead though?
Because
Because he wanted the CIA?
because George Bush Sr. created the CIA. The CIA wasn't.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So George Bush Sr. created the CIA, and JFK wanted to get rid of the CIA because they were doing obviously illegal stuff. That's why when we had when the Reagan era, George Bush Sr. That's part of the Bush clan. He was bringing in, and then this is where the Clintons come in. This is where the Clintons come into play too. Bill Clinton was he was the governor of I think Arkansas or not Arkansas. It's some one of the southern states. And what's crazy about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, they had laws where they had national what's the not the American flag, they had National Confederate Flag Day, and if you didn't participate in the Confederate, and if you look this up, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, they had like National Confederate Flag Day, and I don't remember I don't remember what county or what state that Bill Clinton was the governor of, but I think it was Arkansas. But because they were smuggling drugs through. So Ronald Reagan and you had so you had George Bush Sr., Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was the governor. They was moving drugs. I think it was through Arkansas. And then they have a movie about this. The kid, so like they had these kids that found this plane had crashed, and these kids found the plane, and it had drugs on it, it had cocaine on it, and the kids were found dead on train tracks, and they said that they said the kids got drunk or whatever and ended up dying they fell asleep on train.
Right.
Yeah. There's a movie about this, and it's all documented. So these kids found like a bunch of drugs that from the plane crash that was coming from South America all the way over here into America, because Ronald Reagan was fueling the fight over in all these other countries like Venezuela and stuff, and fighting communism and shit. It's crazy what the CIA, everything the CIA has done. But like I said, this is all the FBI has confirmed most of this stuff, but the CIA, they'll say like we didn't do anything, and then you have things like the NSA, which is no such agency. That's the original name for it. They keep all the tabs on everyone. They have all the information. They like anytime you send a text message, they have it. Anytime like cell phone records, laptop records, anything like that, it's already on there. Phone calls, they have it. They're obviously not watching everyone, but the information is being captured.
Right.
There's not enough people in the NSA to watch everyone. Like they're probably not watching this, and they probably don't give a fuck because what am I gonna do? That's the way that I look at it.
Right.
So you have like George Bush Sr. He's running shit, and then he gets JFK killed, supposedly, because there were so many there were so many different bullets that were coming when they hit JFK.
Right.
People were like, it's impossible. There were multiple people that killed him, and only one Russian guy. I don't know. I don't think he was Russian. Only one guy shot the bullet. He shot 3 different bullets. Like, it's impossible.
Right. Yeah, especially the angles that he was coming at.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
His head exploded. If you look at his head, it exploded. Like, if it was only one bullet, it would have just went in, and the back of his head would have exploded. The front of his head wouldn't have exploded, because when a bullet hits you, the impact, like the whatever you call it, comes out the back end. It doesn't come into the front.
Right. Yeah, the top of his head was like, but and I always thought it was so weird why, and no one I mean, at least that I saw, no one really talked about how easily the Bush family, the Clintons, and the Obamas all came together during all of this. And it's they try to mask it with standing against Donald Trump, which yes, but at the same time, I just always thought it was weird. I
So
was like,
here's
why
my
are
thing
they
with
acting loving?
that. So here's my thing with that. They were coming after the reason why they were coming after Donald Trump. If you watch his whole entire campaign and everything,
Mm-hmm.
he he was saying things like, if I was the president, Hillary Clinton would be in jail. Like he was literally like, if you
Mm-hmm.
watch like their debates and shit like that, I'm no by no means like I don't pick any side. I feel like if you pick a side, you already lost. Like if you're red or if you're
Right.
blue, like
Mm-hmm.
they're both like the same. They're both the same people.
I agree.
On one hand, you have the Democrats, which pretend to be the like, friends to black people and shit like that, but
Mm-hmm.
they're completely not. They're fucking liars. Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
they're just openly like, oh, we don't like black people, but you guess what? You're just gonna have to deal with it. They're openly like they're open about it. At least I'd rather have this is the way I look at it. I'd rather have people openly say they don't like me than pretend that they like me and they don't really like me. Like
Right.
you know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I look at it
Yeah.
like it's even worse that they're like that you even use my people as like a scapegoat to get votes to get
Mm-hmm.
things passed and stuff like that. So here's a little thing about the Democratic Party. So the Democratic Party, they were the first ones that they were fighting for slavery to stay.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even realize that. And then you had Republicans, and the reason why Republicans didn't want slavery was because number one, you had to be rich. Number two, you had to be a Freemason to own slaves. Not everyone owned slaves. You have black people that own slaves, but there are black Freemasons that own slaves. And there were also black free people in the North, in the West. In the South, it was a little iffy. You had slaves there, but there were other, because history always harps on black people were always slaves, black people were always this and always that. They never ever talk about black people that were free. They never ever talk about the rich black people. They never ever talk about black people that were running shit in America while slavery was going on. Because there was black people that owned shops that were making thousands and thousands of dollars. There was a black woman that was so rich that she owned land, and there was oil on her land, and she was so rich that she had to be deemed white because she was so rich. Like, and people don't even talk about that
Oh
kind of stuff.
wow.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of like hidden history that like a lot of people just don't talk about. And people don't bring it out to light. Like I don't vote. Like I don't, like I said, I don't pick no sides. I say fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
I say fuck them both. Like we need I feel like we need more than one party. Um
I
but
feel
yeah.
like parties are even like parties in itself, I think are ridiculous. Like there's a lot of things the founding fathers did that I do not agree with. But like one thing they always said that I agreed with is like the party system is going to break up. Like everyone votes for somebody just because they're in a party.
Mm-hmm.
Like like you just like they should just give us like a lineup of people and then we just choose. Because when you do the party stuff, you start like, you know how people like they get excited for sports. It's like teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like LeBron, for example. People feel whatever type of way about him sometimes, but if he comes to your team, you're a
Mm-hmm.
LeBron fan now.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like
Yeah.
that stuff like that. Like, it's like you should just pick somebody because you like them, not because they're associated to a party that you're in.
Yeah, and the parties don't really mean anything because they all got their own agendas. They're all trying to make
Right.
money. Look at how like, so I live in a democratic state,
Mm-hmm.
and guess where black people are mostly killed in democratic states. People don't talk about that. Where Guess where George
Wow.
Floyd got killed? He got killed in a democratic state in a democratic area.
Mm-hmm.
This is where black people are being murdered in. This is where and that's where black people were slaves at. People don't, and people aren't highlighting that kind of information. When we
Mm-hmm.
talk about police reform and things like that, how about we change how our party system is ran? How about we change who our leaders are? Like look at California, and look at the situation over there with the homeless population and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are being ran by our democratic electees that we elected, and they
Yeah.
obviously don't care. They're out there living in $1 million homes, but then they want to come down,
Right.
but then they want to come on to CNN or whatever and tell us how we need to live and tell us what we need to do and stuff like that. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
the one that's supposed to be helping like homeless people into getting homes, into getting healthcare, into getting all these these things? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's so kind of it's like just backhand, like it's just so messed up. It's so
It
fucked up.
is. I feel like the irresponsibility, it's just like, because we don't have a good foundation, it just trickles down to everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like our government that's supposed to be taking care of us does not take care of us. So it's like, why would anybody else care to take care of us if like the people that were built to take care of us do not take care of us?
Yeah.
Like it's so they don't care because the government doesn't care. And at the end of the day, like they live in the house. Like, so, you know.
Yeah. And another thing, like, like, so think about this though. So they're telling people to get rid of the police, but they use the police to protect them.
Right.
They're protecting their
right. They would never come amongst.
So why would
they would never?
So
come
I
general
believe
population.
that. So like I said, for like police reform, I think that we need to do. So my thing of like policing is we need to have actual people that's from. So like me, from Peoria, Illinois, I can go to New Jersey and become a police officer. I'm not from New Jersey. I don't know shit about New Jersey. I don't know.
Right.
I can't. So that's the problem that we're having. We're letting motherfuckers from different states go to. We're swapping. People are just swapping states, and they're policing people that they don't even know. Yeah, we are all American, but New Jersey is damn near probably a different country. You can say it's a different country,
right?
America. Everyone acts different. Like the lifestyle that you live isn't the same lifestyle that I live here. You know,
right?
Like I can't go over there and police, Joe Schmo in New Jersey. I like because you might know Joe Schmo and he's just crazy. Like that's just the crazy man on the. You have like that neighborhood crazy guy, and everyone's just like, yeah, go let him do his thing. Then you got someone like me that moved somewhere new. I'm already paranoid because I've never been here before, and I'm scared because I'm in a foreign. I'm in a foreign area. So therefore, you're gonna have people shooting each other, like
right. And it's even like even neighborhoods. Like you have like all these suburban people coming over into like city life, and then they don't know like what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like they have all types of people, and in the suburbs, it's like a lot of white people, and they just like don't know how to like talk to other people, I guess.
No, yeah,
but it's just like completely different, like between just cities.
Yeah, like, and that's my thing. I'm just like, we definitely need to change like policing, but how are you going to say let's get rid of the police? Because like I got grandparents and shit. I got like that need the police because just like what they gonna do if someone breaks into their fucking house? What they going like like we need police for things like that. But like if we're like, I just think we need more community policing, and we need to encourage people that are actually from the community to protect the community. Instead of me filling out an application all the way in Peoria, and then New Jersey will pay for me to move out there to get an apartment and then join the police force. And I don't know nothing about New Jersey, but I can police New Jersey. That don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And it's just a lot more personal. Like when you go into another community, like, God forbid something happened, like at the end of the day, how affected are you? Because the people around you aren't affected. Like you can go back home into La La Land and no one's going to talk about what you did.
Yeah.
So
it's really like that. It's really like that because like, so in my neighborhood, like in Peoria, like we have a lot of local, policing, people that are actually from the neighborhood. So like we look at policing a little different. Like when I got pulled over when we was like illegal in Illinois, which they have zero tolerance for that. If you get caught with some shit, you're either getting a ticket or you're getting cuffs on you for a gram or like a blunt, like legit.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll throw cuffs on you. And so for us, like, we're just, we're all from the neighborhood. The police pulls us over. He's like, yo, look, just stomp it out. Now, imagine if that was another person from a different county or something like that. It probably could have gone different if it wasn't, a police, and it was a white police officer too. Like, he told me this, he's just like, he literally threw the blunts out and he was like, all right, guys, let's do the Mexican stomping dance. And he and we like stomped it out, and then like he let us go. And I was just like, oh, shit. Like, so like I feel like small town like policing is kind of like, it's more local. It's like it's more local and it's more like organized and shit, to where people aren't just getting shot for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And like, and you have like these bigger city areas where they're letting people from places where you know, where I live and all these other small areas, and they're coming to these big cities and they don't know shit about these areas. Like,
right.
and it's mainly you can blame the mayors, you can blame the police chiefs for those kind of things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just fucking crazy. But let's get back on conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Let's
Just a little side note, everybody.
Let's get all right. But back to 9/11. Do you do you think because a lot of other I've heard the wildest thing where people actually say no one died. People will say that.
Yeah, see, I think that's crazy. I think
that's crazy. That is crazy. People will say no one died, and I'm just like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, they're totally in denial. And I feel like every like big event, somebody like people like try to say that the genocide, the Jewish that didn't happen. Like Hitler didn't happen, basically. Like what? No, where
do you think Hitler went? They didn't find his body. God. You think he went to Puerto Rico? You think not Puerto Rico, but is it Puerto Rico?
He's probably in Cancun right now, freaking drinking a pina colada. You know what's so crazy and made no sense about that when they went into the room that he supposedly committed suicide in, they found 2 skulls. How would his body
be already decomposed?
Yeah, like why is there a skull 24 hours later? That makes no sense.
And then why were there, so you had the trial, why were there only 19 Nazis killed?
Yeah, and like why did nobody saw the body? No, America hasn't seen the body. And I think they declassified documents last year, I want to say, about the Hitler thing, that they admit that that nobody saw the body, and that they like that whole thing did not make sense. He definitely was alive.
Have you heard of Operation Paperclip?
Maybe if you explain. I'm horrible with names.
So Operation Paperclip. So when the U.S. and the Russians were closing in on all the Nazis and stuff, obviously the U.S., the British military intelligence, and Russian intelligence, they were zoning in on the Nazis. So the United States got their scientists, which they, you know, the Nazis created NASA, which so they got their scientists, the Russian got their scientists, and British intelligence got their scientists. And that's why there was only 19 Nazis killed during the Nuremberg trials.
Wow.
They each you know, branch of intelligence got their scientists, because obviously like the Nazis, they were on some shit. You know, people used to say that you know, they were talking to extraterrestrial beings. People used to say they were talking to beings in other dimensions, and like that's where they got like all these ideas from, and like the master race and stuff like that. This dude Hitler was on speed and methamphetamines most of his
I believe it.
Most of the time, yeah. If you watch, there's videos of him. He threw a party for Jesse Owens for winning the Olympics. Yeah, Hitler was at the Olympics. So the Olympics. So like you could be at war with any country, but when the Olympics happens, everyone.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Hitler was at the Olympics where Jesse Owens won, and Hitler threw he threw Jesse Owens a fucking party.
It's so weird. I went to Italy what year is it? 2021. 2 years ago. And they had like he was like buddies with people. Like it was very weird. We went on like this tour thing, and they had this bridge that they built just for him, because they had like this special event, and they wanted to have like him have like a special view and everything. I was like, Hitler?
Yeah. Most people were actually just scared and tweaked out of Hitler, because he was a tweaker. He was a tweaker. There's videos of him at the Olympics. He's just like twitching and shit and doing all types of like tweaker shit. And like, and I was like, this dude's a meth head. And
I believe it.
And the only way you could look at all of our leaders, from all of our presidents. You have to be a psychopath want to be the president or a leader of, like, you have to have something wrong with you. Like, no matter how, no matter how you hide it, you have to be some type of weirdo. Like the president that we got right now, like, come on now, he looks like a fucking weirdo. Like Donald Trump, weirdo. Like he says Barack Obama, like he is so smooth that it's weird. Like this dude, like like people. Here's another conspiracy. People like I used to hear like that people used to say Michelle Obama was a man, and I used to be like, what the fuck? People used to say that she was her name was Michael something.
That's so wrong.
I know. I would be like, what the fuck? Like, and I was just like, it would blow my mind though, and it would make me want to look into it just by the fact that like someone said that. I'm like, is this shit real? And then next thing you know, you're going down a rabbit hole. And like, and like, I'm just sitting in my room. It's like, it's Michelle Obama. Like, and I'm just
oh my god!
And
oh my goodness, that's funny.
I'm just like, I was like, I'm just trying to like figure this out, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking up?
It always starts with a weird thought. I swear, it always starts with a weird thought, and then you go down a rabbit hole, and then it gets really weird.
Yeah, like then you just start like, you know, like next thing you know, like you end up like in like this weird. Like, it's just like when like you're like watching YouTube videos. Like you just start clicking on the next one, and you're clicking on the next one. And next thing you know, you're watching a man feed 50 raccoons, like
all on leashes. Like it's so weird.
Yeah. But that's why I like conspiracy theories though, because like I just end up like, you know, just researching like a bunch of stuff, whether it's fake or whether it's like, you know, real information. Is entertainment to me.
Yes. No, that's why I got into this whole like 9/11 thing, because so this was years ago, and I was very into like the dark web, because one of my brothers in particular, he would love this because he's so into conspiracy theories, but he goes really deep that it's like actually insane. Like stuff that he believes, it like sometimes I'm concerned, but like he's so into that. So I like got into that. Me and my best friend, we would sit there and like look up all this stuff. And one day I'm like, you know, I probably could find some really crazy things about 9/11 and find some answers that I'm looking for. But instead I found a really creepy video that was like, it was so simple that it was creepy. Like, because everyone has seen 9/11 videos by this time. You hear everyone screaming, you hear like the horror and fear, like you hear all of like that like feeling in the videos, and it still does not compare to this video. It was so creepy. But I'm just gonna explain it to you. Maybe it's creepy to me. I wish I like saved it. Actually, no, I don't wish I saved it. But if you could see it in my mind, it just creeped me out. So it was a video of the Twin Towers from like a very long distance away, and you could tell. I think it was taken in Jersey, because I don't think you can get that type of shot from Brooklyn, to be honest, because that's the only borough that you could get that type of shot, kind of. But Brooklyn's still too close, so I think it was from Jersey. A very far away shot of the Twin Towers, and it's just sitting there, and it's completely silent, and all of a sudden you see the first plane hit, and you hear a little bit of noise, but you don't hear much, and then you hear the second plane hit. And like I literally could just like explain this verbatim, like the shots they were getting, like they would zoom in sometimes and zoom out, and they kept the whole thing on there until the buildings collapsed. And then they just kept it, and all the smoke, and I stopped it after a while, because I was like, I don't want to see like if they do anything else with this video. But I don't know why it traumatized me, and I never went on the dark web after that. I was so like I just knew the person like doing it, like it was very like evil, because there's just, you know, like there's no way you're getting a shot of the Twin Towers. But when I looked into all of this, and I wrote, like, I went into this whole, like, my little whole, like, black hole. The reason why I picked that is because of that video. And I thought to myself, like, there has to be something that I'm going to hear or find, that there's a reason why there's a video of just like it all happening. But, and it has to do with Mr. Bush, which is why I have a bone to pick with him. He totally rats himself out on national television. It was the weirdest thing in the world.
The first thing he did, so like when 9/11 happened, the first thing George Bush said was, don't listen to or pay attention to any conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first, and I was just like, why would that be the first thing that can't come up that comes out of your mouth when, like, you know, it's a national crisis? So it's kind of weird.
I think because he knows like he thinks he knows everything was sketchy because okay, I'm going to start from before 9/11. There had been like months of tension with Al Qaeda, but I don't even think it was the tension that everybody was saying it was the tension it was. Like I think everybody like in a way try to use them as a scapegoat for some things. But all these countries were warning the US like we're going to get hit. We're going to get hit on American soil. La 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 la. And he completely ignored all of it.
Mm.
And a couple weeks before 9/11, the towers were bought by Larry Silverstein, I think his name is.
I know
like
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He took an insurance policy out on them, and it paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and got billions of dollars for that. And I don't. I think he knew something about it, but I don't know if he did it. Maybe because he did take the threat seriously, and because the Twin Towers had already had that bombing like in the 90s that they thought maybe had to do with Al Qaeda. Like, I don't know if he did it because he was like, you know what, probably something's gonna happen. But I don't know. And all.
You go on ahead. You finish.
The day before 9/11, I think it was like in the trillions of dollars that was lost from the defense budget. But that's like 1/4 of the budget, which is crazy that 1/4 of the budget, it's like trillions of dollars, but they lost that much money the day before 9/11.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. And the finance department, all the finances, like for the United States, most of it was in the Pentagon and the trade centers, the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm.
That's fucking wild. One of the things that like, so when the pandemic first hit, one of the things that I looked into, which now like it's like deemed like the most evilest thing ever is
oh my God.
It's the Q thing. So like Q, like it was so crazy because like when I started looking into Q, people thought that like Q was about, oh, Donald Trump was gonna like Q had nothing to do with him. Like if you look into the information drops that, so like there was like this little info, so like you had like these things on not Reddit, but it was on 4chan and 8chan and stuff like that. And this they would like post information about Jeffrey Epstein and Epstein's Island and stuff like that. And
yeah,
he would post pictures of like Bill Clinton and all these other people on Epstein's Island, like, and it was fucking crazy. And I was just like, yo, like, there's like this, do you know who fucking what's his name? Alex Jones. Do you know who Alex Jones?
Yes.
So I remember when Alex Jones was talking. So this was like in like 2016, 2014. But he was talking about like, but I was watching it like his videos around that time. But he was talking about this in like 2009, 2011. Like he was already saying that there's islands where they take children and like they force them into child sex slavery, and and it's ran by the CIA to blackmail other people into doing things for them. Like, and
it makes sense. Epstein has been on the radar for like a long time. Like I think he had charges in the early 2000s that had something to do with it, but he got away with it, of course.
Yeah. So the first time he got arrested, he was released because he worked for the CIA. He was Mossad, I think Mossad intelligence. And the first time he got arrested, they told the people that arrested him that this guy is above your pay grade. Like he like let him go. Like and like a lot of people that like meet him, they say that like because like he's supposed to be like some like technology business guy, but people that have met him, they say that he's playing a character. Some people even think that Jeffrey Epstein isn't a real person because it's just like how companies can create like so. I'm one of the owners of a company right now, and one of the things that
very cool.
one of my mentors, he's one of the shareholders of the company too. He's very rich, and like he told me that one of the things that like companies do is that they create fake entities to put money. So like a company can create a fake person and put money in that fake person's name. and they can use that as a business expense and not pay taxes on it.
Wow. And
Yeah,
kind of do all the stuff they want to do
yeah,
without
and
having
do
their names attached to it.
yeah, and you pretty much like write it off as a business expense, pretty much.
Wow.
And that's a
Wow.
way to not pay taxes on like the money that you make in your company. And
That's have you seen that girl on Instagram that's like not real? She's an IA or something.
yeah, she's created by a company.
I can't stand her. I can't believe people are letting that like, oh, it creeps me out. Like why are people letting, and then they like go in on it and like people comment like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. Like it's not a real person.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. It's so weird. And when like the influencers do weird stuff. I can't stand the influencer culture, but like, they do the weirdest things. But like they'll pose with her, like
yeah.
But that's like the same thing, that they get all this money from this made up Instagram profile.
Yeah, it's crazy because like you can literally, I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein like the physical person is a real person, but the name Jeffrey Epstein is a made up like entity. It's a made up like he took on, people said that he took on the name Jeffrey Epstein, and like it wasn't like, you know, actually his name. I think that, I mean, and I don't put that past, like, you know, that could be true. Like I said, like I don't think that it's fact, you know, but like it's just like, you know, one of the things that people talk about, that Jeffrey Epstein is probably not even a real person. Like he could have just been like a, you know, just a guy that took on the name or persona of, you know, the character Jeffrey Epstein. Because a lot of people just play characters. Like a lot of people are like, you're not, in my opinion, I don't think you're elected to be a president. You're not elected for certain things. You're selected and you're groomed. And like people like someone like, you know, George Bush or Barack Obama or any other president you could think of, they were groomed for that like position. Like they were groomed to be that. Like you are going to do this. This is what you're going to do, and like this is how you're going to do it. I feel like my take on Trump was that he was like on both sides. They fucking hated him. I don't like him, but obviously he was ruffling some feathers, and I was just like, dude, I want to hear him like say some more shit. Like I want to hear him say like, I want him to, like, because he was just like just saying shit. And I was just like, bro, is he just gonna tell us that aliens are real? Like, is he gonna like?
But the government did. They released all those files, and like nobody cared about it because of everything that was happening.
Yeah. Here's my take on aliens though.
They're real.
So like, I don't want to say that aliens aren't real. I think that aliens already been here. Like I think that there's like already things here, and I think that I just think that I don't know. I feel like we are in my personal opinion, I think that we're in a dimension, and I feel like everything is like, that's why we have the Hadron Collider and stuff like that, and we create black holes on Earth and stuff like that, and we create wormholes and stuff like that. So it's called CERN. So we have CERN where we.
Oh my gosh.
So CERN.
My brother is so in. Oh my! I have a funny story about that. Go ahead.
So if you look at like the logo for CERN, it's you know, it's the goddess of like death or whatever, in like the Hindu culture. And then, you know, what do you do with wormholes and black holes? There's things that come through it, and there's things that we can't see. There's particles, and there are electrons and photons that we can't see, but they help shape and create our reality. What comes through a black hole that we can't see? We don't know. Like, and then you got things like Stranger Things, where they were creating wormholes and black holes, and they were trying to go into other dimensions. Have we already like? And the thing about that, like, I'm not saying like, well, that's what we're trying to do, but where does that idea come from? Like, where does the idea of Stranger Things, where we're creating black holes in a government basement, like to go to other dimensions, where does that come from? Like, does it come from, you know, out of our ass? Like, does it, like, no one's just thinking these things. Like we there's things that are going on like around this world, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because I think that for a lot of things. I think that for some mythical creatures. Don't judge me, but I definitely do.
Yeah. No, like I wouldn't doubt it. Like there's probably are mythical creatures that are around right now. We just can't see them because there's things that like in my like so our brains vibrate, but our brains vibrate on a very low frequency. So
Right.
when you take like psychedelics and stuff like that, the vibration then changes. Most
Hmm.
people take psychedelics and stuff to, you know, party and have a good time. Me, I like to take psychedelics by myself because I like to, you know, reevaluate myself. I like to like, you know, self-actualize and do like self-realizations and things like that. And I like to just like see how reality looks under the different lens
Hmm.
of a psychedelic. Um and I think that because I remember like just like I have a homie, his name is Warp Vision. I did a podcast with him. He's
Hmm.
talked about, you know, he said he saw elves, like, and they like he like he said like
So Santa's workshop.
no, like he does he makes and grows psilocybin mushrooms and things like that, and
Hmm.
he he's taken like a lot. He's done like DMT and shit like that, and I've never done DMT,
Oh wow.
but yeah, I've done I've done a pretty good amount of shrooms to where I was seeing like spirals and like geometrical shapes in the sky, and like seeing like just different like things, and just realizing that like there's things that we can't see but they're around and it's happening. um
Yes.
and one of the things I think that the reason why the government is putting out, you know, UFO, you know, saying that UFOs are real, or like this UFO footage was verified. So have you ever heard of Project Bluebeam?
No.
Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is a operation where it's a written out project where the government fakes a alien invasion.
What?
Yes, they fake a whole alien. They fake a. You should look it up. Project Bluebeam. They fake a whole alien invasion. It's all written out. So like we have things like you know, SpaceX, and we have things like what could you like, and you see things in China and like all these other foreign countries to where they can create these 3D shapes in the sky and make
Hmm.
them look like castles and stuff.
Right.
Imagine if they created a whole fake 3D alien invasion.
Wow.
Imagine that.
That would be
I'm not saying that's
that would
gonna.
be
I'm not saying that that's real
that would be
and that's gonna
crazy.
happen, but yeah, it'll be fucking crazy. Like it's just like that's why I'm just
That
like
would be on some like Spider-Man. Which movie was it that Tom Holland, the guy that he was against, they did a bunch of projectors and stuff and everything was just like fake around them?
yeah, that was Spider-Man. That was Spider-Man. Isn't that
Yeah, I forgot which.
back to school or whatever? Like not back to school, but
Yeah.
back home or way back back.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
something like that. But that's like the same thing that they like created this whole thing that was not happening at
That's what I'm
all.
saying. And like we had
Wow.
that technology to where we can do that stuff. So like why wouldn't they fake an alien invasion? Why
It's
would
so it's humans are funny though, because it's like, why would you? What, like who came up with the idea? Like, bro, like let's come up with a whole experience, like blow a bunch of people's money on a fake alien invasion.
because you could create a one world, you can create a one world government by doing that. So
Ooh.
the uniqueness of America is that we have the Constitution. No other country has a constitution like ours, where we have the
Oh
right
wow.
to
I
where
didn't know
we
that.
have, yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people shit on it, like, yeah, America has like its dark, yeah, a lot of America has like its dark, you know, history, and it's
Yeah.
really fucked up, and it's really fucked up. But I'm telling you right now, it's a lot worse than other, like I'd rather,
Yeah.
it's a way a lot worse. There's
Mhm.
countries where they don't even got air conditioning, like at least
Yeah.
like and we have like we live in a country where we can at the president and say fuck you, suck a dick, like in all, you do that, you do that in China,
That's true.
you do
You
that
get
in,
killed. Yeah.
yeah, you're going gulags. You do that in Russia,
Mhm.
you're going missing. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot
It's
of like as America, like, and then my thing
scary.
is America really that bad? Like you're literally saying fuck you to the president, and you can express how you feel. You can
Hmm.
express how you feel to like that president. So back to the Constitution and one world government. So the Constitution has things like you have the right to bear arms. It doesn't say you have the right to bear a pistol. You can get it because the founding fathers, I think that they were on psychedelics too, and they were on some shit.
Probably.
Because how would you know just to say the right to bear arms? The right to bear arms means they knew, the founding fathers knew that they weren't always going to have muskets.
Right.
They knew that weapons were going to change like forever. So that's why they put the right to bear arms. So you can get any kind of gun you want. You can get any kind of, just in case if something like a, you know, one world government type situation were to happen. The reason why, you know, we broke off from the British government. So when George Washington, they beat the British, right? They wanted George Washington, they wanted him to be King George. He said, no, this is the United States for, it's supposed to be the United States for America, not of America. It's supposed to be for its citizens. So you have Abraham Lincoln. Now I'm about to go into, now here's another thing. All right, so Abraham Lincoln got rid of the Vatican in America. So the Vatican is now became a part of the, like around sometime, I would say like the 1950s or 40s, the Vatican came back into America like as like a, you know, kind of like a partnership a little bit.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Abraham Lincoln got rid of the Vatican, and he got rid of the central banking system. So with the central banks, they are ran in other countries, you know, that are not, the IRS was not created in America. The IRS is, we're paying money to fucking England and like all these other countries. We like, it's taxation without representation. So taxes are technically illegal. Who are like, instead of state taxes you're supposed to pay. State taxes make sense because you pay your property taxes and stuff like that, and that helps, you know. But that money that we're paying in property taxes and income taxes and stuff like that, that money it's not going to help people. That money is supposed to help people.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's supposed to help facilitate jobs, but our governors and our elected officials are stealing that money. So right now it's taxation without representation. So therefore it's an illegal tax. We shouldn't be paying it, but people just pay it anyways because they don't think about it. They don't think about those kind of things. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna pay my taxes, even though like there's homeless people, there's homeless kids that ain't got nothing to eat. Like we could have been put that money to better use to help out our community. Right.
And it's just like they build a system though that we're like in a way like scared to help other people, because truthfully I didn't know some of that information and I just sent off my taxes. But it's like you sit there and you do your taxes because you're like, I don't want to get screwed and I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want to get all this. And it's like they make it a system that you're like fearful of whatever, like I'm scared to not do my taxes. Like I am scared of the IRS.
Yeah. But the thing about it is though, if no one paid taxes, what would they do?
What would they do? Yeah, it really is that simple, but it's not.
We hold the power as people, and all it takes is a collective. I'm like so the only thing that like, you know, when it comes to like politics, I look for people that, you know, want to cut taxes on people, like they want to cut taxes. If you have, no matter if you're a millionaire, no matter if you're making 40 grand a year, if you don't pay taxes, you're going to spend that extra money. So therefore that money is going to be circulating in your community. You're paying taxes, that money's not getting circulated in your community. That money's getting circulated to people that steal your money. It's not, the dollar don't come full circle. That's why you have people like, you know, you got Arabs that come to America, you got the Chinese people that come to America, Koreans or whatever. They come here, they set up shop, they spend money. That money is being circled back to them. It goes right back. That money is being, and that's how that's how I like tell Black people. I'm like, yo, if Black people really want to get out of like, you know, this poverty shit, if Black people really want to do this and do that, like we actually got to start like supporting each other and start, you know, people that say like, hey, yo, support Black-owned businesses. Don't say support Black-owned businesses when it's only your business that you want it to be supported. That's
Right.
that's what like, and like that's like, you know, people are acting like it's only every other race is fucking up black people, but there's like I've seen black people fuck up black people way worse than I've seen any other race fuck up black people. Like I'll tell you firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see it all the time. Like your own family, my own family is black, and like they've done me dirty before. Like so
Mm-hmm.
so like it's not it's to me it's not a like if you want to get out of like shit like that, you have to actually build a community and like, you know, and like have like it's okay to have family values. It's okay to like, you know, be like, you know,
Right.
like a part of the church and shit like that, and build like, and be a part of like the community and stuff, because it's important for people to have that. And that's why a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are they go fucking crazy because they ain't got no community to go to. They ain't got
Mm-hmm.
they ain't got nothing that they can call family. They ain't got nothing that they can call home. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It kind of the same thing in the Hispanic community. I feel like a lot, like when I see some like start complaining about certain things, I feel like Hispanics bring each other down more than anything. Cause like
Yeah.
really, like you look at so many things in the world and like where are we really represented? So like none of them like work for that. And like they
Yeah.
kind of, it's a very, I feel like jealousy is a really big thing, and like envy is very big in the Hispanic community. There's a lot
Same. Yeah, same.
yeah, and it gets like I feel like everyone in a way feels like some feelings of that sometimes, because you see somebody that, you know, they're doing something that you want to do, and like there's a little thing, but it gets so deep into like their heart, it becomes like a heart issue. And then that's when like it's a domino effect, and it's just like nothing good ever comes out of it.
It's
And
like
I
a
feel like
generational curse.
yeah, and it's like you know, no one's getting built up because you're all freaking hating each other. Like nobody's supporting each other except like, yeah, when it's your own business, and like, oh, like no, like you got to do that for everybody.
And then the thing is that like, and now like you got people thinking like, oh, I need to be, we need representation on Netflix. We need representation. No, how about we build our own Netflix? How about we build our own shit?
Like make
I
your
don't
own shows.
Yeah,
Yes.
like we can I'm making my own podcast. I could be like, oh, this person don't have like this kind of representation on their No, I'm gonna make my own podcast, and I'm gonna have my own representation on there of the people that I want to have represented on there. And if you want to have your own podcast and represent your own people, go ahead and do that. Like I'm not about to be out, I'm not gonna it's like me standing outside your house saying, change your curtains. Like I don't like the way they look. Like I don't like
yeah.
Like I don't live with you, so how can I tell you how to, like I can't tell you to change anything like in your house. It's your house. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's like, and that's another thing that I don't get sometimes. Like when people get mad, like cancel culture is so ridiculous sometimes, because I feel like in their own way, it's very performative. Like you get mad at people for doing that. Like, oh, why don't you have this on your show? Why don't you do that? It like it's going to, but then why don't you go and do it? Like obviously it's going to seem forced because that's not them. That's not like their thing. It's like they're like, you know, like they didn't grow up like that. They didn't have the same life as you. So of course it's going to seem forced, and now you're going to be pissed off that it's forced into whatever you're watching or seeing.
Yeah, and that's why that's why a lot of like black content shows that like show up now, they're shit. Honestly, I don't watch like Tyler Perry. He makes the worst shows. Like he makes the worst movies. Like I'm sorry, and then you got like on Netflix where they're making like black content shows, and it's so forced. Like black people don't always talk like this. Like there's black people that talk like me. There's black people that like not all black people think the same. Like, and that's why I thought it was, you know, I think it's like, so like when you know Joe Biden and Donald Trump was like, you know, when that whole thing was going on, and they were like, you ain't black if you don't vote Democrat. That's basically saying black people can't think for themselves. Like like when you say that kind of stuff. Like I know black conservatives. I know black, you know, liberals. I know black people that are in the middle. I know black people that don't give a fuck about like any of this shit.
Right.
And like and I think it's racist to even even think that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like when Kanye West was running for president, and then you had like white celebrities saying don't vote for Kanye. This is not a joke. I'm just like, but don't y'all want black people to like what happened to supporting black people? Like he can't run for president now because he's a celebrity, or he's a this or that. Like it's a joke now since the black guy's running for president. It's a joke now. because it's kind of
right. But the
like
white reality TV show star wasn't a joke.
yeah,
Like, you
or
guys
Joe
took it pretty
Biden
seriously.
or Joe Biden that wrote the crime bill with Bill Clinton,
Yeah.
like and locked up, you know,
Oh goodness.
way more black people than ever. Like but it's okay for him to run for president though. So I'm
Right.
it's like you guys are all full of shit. Like I don't,
Right.
like it's just it just shows like and that's why I'm not quick to jump on this is racist, like this is that, like I'm
Hmm.
let me sit back and let me analyze the situation real quick, because sometimes people are just people, and I feel like they just take advantage of the color of our skin. Like they take advantage, like just because someone's white and someone's black and someone's this and someone's that, it doesn't mean there has to be conflict at all. Like that's
Hmm.
yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just so it's kind of fucked up. And when people, it's just like when people ask me, do you think everything's a conspiracy? Fuck yeah, everything's a conspiracy. like what do you what do you think? Like what do you think it's like do you think someone's not plotting? Do you think someone's not planning something?
Hmm.
Like a conspiracy is two people conspiring an idea. Like
Hmm. Right.
America is a conspiracy. It's an idea. Like you know, someone thought of this. Like all this is all
Right.
conspiracy. It's
Right.
all,
They had an idea for America. Now we don't know what the idea is, but it's, they conspired for America to be something.
you know what I think? This is what I think. I think in the next couple of years, I feel like we will be we're gonna head towards a one world. They're gonna try. I feel like we're gonna head towards a one world.
Really?
Yeah, I think
You think that's soon though? Like soon?
so like if you look at the Biden administration and Joe Biden's relationship with President Xi Jinping, he's always talked about how so like look at how China treats its people. You're they put Muslims
Hmm.
in concentration camps, they shave their heads, and they put them through a rehabilitation camp, and
Hmm.
they force them to learn. So there's over 300 different languages spoken in the continent of China. So you have
Wow.
yeah, like
Very cool.
so you got Mandarin, and then you got all these other languages and stuff. And they go to the countryside, get the people in the countryside, force them into camps, and force them to only speak that one language. So and it's so
Wow.
it's so fucking crazy. There's I've watched like documentaries of like Chinese men and women crying and shit, and like hearing their stories and stuff, and like they castrate men, and like they neuter women, like
Oh my
so they don't
goodness.
have so they can't have children, and like same like they do the same to men, like they neuter them, and like it's crazy what they do, and like it's crazy that you can't get out of those kind of situations. And then you have things that's called a social credit score. So
Hmm.
so you have credit, and then you have now what we call a social credit score. So if you are deemed a bad person in China, you there's you can't own land, you can't go to college, you can't work a job. This happened to someone. He criticized the Chinese government, and
Wow.
now he can't work a job, he can't go to school, he can't own land, he can't own a house, and he can't have an apartment,
Wow.
and he can't leave China.
Wow. Yeah, I knew they had that social thing. That's like,
And now they're
I
in
mean, it's kind of like a credit score in a weird way, which kind of like sucks, but it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in a weird way, America has that, like between like social media, credit scores, like just like politics in general. Like I feel
Yeah.
like we have, that's just so crazy though.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I
it's
think I think there is gonna be uh I think there definitely is like a one world thing gonna happen. Like not to get religious or anything, but like in the Bible it says like during the end times that like the world is going, like that is going to be a thing. So I do believe that. I mean, I honestly I think I would believe it even if I didn't believe in all that, because it's
yeah.
just like, because people are that evil and that's what they want to do either way, I feel like.
It's just just okay. So for the Bible, for instance, so
Hmm.
you got the King James version. Do you know about King James? Have you read
I
his biography?
That's actually so crazy because I've never Ever. I've never.
So King James, so see, I'm like really like deep into like this kind of shit. So King James, he used to, he wrote books on how to summon demons. He wrote books on child sacrifice. He wrote
Wow.
books on pedophilia. Yeah, he wrote books on lots of stuff. But we
It's
have,
an interesting translation. I
yeah,
don't
we
like the
have,
translation.
yeah, and then we have the King James Version Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how can I explain this? Most of the stories in the Bible, they're not false, but they are hidden. It's like um it's kind of they reworded a lot of things to make it into an occultic book. So like the time, like the flood, the Bible follows the stars. So when the flood comes, it's the age of what? Aquarius. Water's coming. I don't believe in, like I said, I don't like, I'm not really like big into like astrology and shit like that. I just like to do my research. Like I got a Gita in my house. I study like
Mm-hmm.
all, I have like all different types of like religious, like I got a Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked into the Quran and all different,
Mm-hmm.
and the
That's
Quran
cool.
is even, the Quran is even way more like, is even way more crazy. So
Yeah.
in the Quran, they talk about gene splicing. So
Yeah.
so you got Yaqub, which is Jacob in the Christian Bible. Yaqub goes to the island of Peniel, which is your pineal gland, and then he took black people to the island of Peniel, and he made them lighter, and he would kill off the ones that were darker. What is that? It's called gene splicing. We already do gene splicing here. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a place called Clone Aid. You have places where they already clone humans, and now
Mm-hmm.
um, how did we get that technology? How are we already talking about gene splicing in these old books? And like I said, and then I get to the point where everything's a fucking conspiracy theory. like like because even the Bible talks about like different ancient technologies that we have to this day. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think like for me, like when it talks about ancient, like for me that just strengthens my faith, because I feel like again, for me, like it just, because there's so many things that it talks about that they would have never known,
Yeah.
like had they, like I just think that's a Holy Spirit thing, because it's just like, how would you have known of so many things that happened so many years later? And like they literally traveled on donkeys and had nothing, they had no anything, and look at like life, like we're on a Zoom call, like it's
Yeah.
just, it's crazy. But I yeah, the Bible's interesting.
Yeah.
The Bible's interesting. Oh,
You're
oh, okay, good.
it's one of the craziest it's definitely one of the craziest stories ever written. I definitely, like, I never talk down on the Bible or any other like religious book. Um
Mm-hmm.
and and then you have like even the Jewish, you have not the Quran, but you have the Tanakh. It
Mm-hmm.
talks about, um it, I'm not, like I said, I'm not against like Jewish people, but they say if you eat with it's pretty much saying if you eat with like black people, you're pretty much eating with dogs. Like there's it's fucking
They
crazy.
are a very racist group of people,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, like that's in their book, and people don't even know that, before Jewish people ended up in Germany, they were kicked out of 100 different countries. Like,
Wow.
yeah, and they like people call it anti-Semitism when you talk about old Jewish culture, but they used to practice child sacrifice and stuff like that. There's very old
Right.
there's very old texts and stuff. There's lots of different cultures and religions that did stuff like that. You had Viking cultures that practiced child sacrifice for the land to grow and for grass to, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what they believed. That's what they believe was right.
Right.
Um, and then which leads into, like you got the devil, and then you have older ancient demons. Do you know who Moloch is?
Yes.
So you have Moloch. Moloch is a older demon than Satan. So Satan, so Moloch is a demon that only accepts child sacrifice. People, and then you have what we have, Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
What do they light on fire? Moloch. It's a statue of Moloch. Moloch is a owl owl human demon, and like and it's crazy. So like, and
Yeah.
people don't look into these kind of things. Moloch has been around since Viking eras. Vikings used to worship Moloch. Like it.
I think in uh again, completely my opinion. I think sometimes like with stuff like that, like why they were probably around before, I guess the idea of Satan is because I don't think like a lot more times than not, like, because I believe in people being possessed. I think people definitely can be possessed by demons.
Mm.
I think because the devil himself doesn't do like he has them do his dirty work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like there's different translations for God and like Satan. So Satan, you could translate it into I think Hebrew or I don't know what the language is, but it means poisonous air. And then you have God, which means like clean air. And some people think that the Bible is about breathing and not like meditation, but like
Mm-hmm.
people think it's about like like when I go outside and because like I'm very I don't like post about it on like my Twitter, but like I'm a very active person. I like to be out in like nature and shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm outside and like I'm breathing and like I breathe in clean air and I come back inside, I feel like a new person. Like I'm out and about in like wilderness and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll go like I do like like I'll do like an 8 mile run in the woods and like I'm by myself and I'm alone. Yeah,
8 miles. Pause. What? Oh no, I'm not even doing one.
yeah,
Oh goodness.
like I call them like in my head I call them spirit runs. Like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like and like I like to be barefoot outside it's called like grounding yourself and like I feel like different than what I felt before I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I feel clean. I feel like I feel like a different person. I feel like a new human when I do those kind of things and I'm breathing in like that air and like I'm around all the nature that God, the universe has provided for us. Like plants and stuff, they give off, they intake. So the thing about like, so it's just like with carbon, they make this big deal about carbon emissions. What do plants eat? Plants eat carbon. Plants need
Right.
carbon to eat. So it doesn't matter how much carbon we have in the air, the plants are going to eat it and then they're going to give us oxygen no matter what. Like
Mm-hmm.
so like I don't think that carbon is really that much. I'm not a climate changer denier. Like I think that like I'm not a I think the earth goes through like different cycles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It heats up and it cools down. It does whatever it wants. The earth is a living, breathing. To me, I think the earth is like actually like alive because we have these things called solar prominences. A solar prominence is when so like I'm a big like when I was a kid, so the reason why I know a lot of this information, when I was the kid that walked around with the encyclopedia. Like
Nice.
I used to walk around with an encyclopedia and I was like a nerdy, I was like a nerdy kid. We have these things called solar prominences where planets inhale and exhale. So they literally like they exhale like in these gases
Mm-hmm.
then they come down onto the earth and then that's where we have things like the zodiac and stuff like that where our ancestors in Egypt they knew about that. So Egyptians created astrology because that's why you have the pyramids lined up with these celestial bodies because they understood the significance of where these planets are aligned. Some people would have sex on certain days so they would have a Taurus baby or a Libra baby.
Really?
They would actually plan it out. They would actually plan these things out. Like because when there were no light, like so we have these things that's called light. What's it called? Light pollution.
Mm-hmm.
So like in New Jersey, you can't really see what's really out in the sky. Here,
Right.
where I'm at, where where I'm at, like there is light pollution, but it's not as big as, you know, New Jersey or New York or Chicago. You can
Hmm.
see shit flying, like you can see shooting stars and shit. You can see,
Wow.
yeah, you can see all types of shit like in the sky. So I can only imagine like when there's literally nothing and you could just see like just the sky. Imagine like
Yeah,
you can literally see the universe. Like you can
that's
see,
crazy.
I know, yeah, and people don't realize that like the Earth is we're going forward. We're not just spinning.
Hmm.
We're moving in the. We're not just in one spot in the universe. We are moving in the universe. Like
Hmm.
we're going forward while spinning, and the only reason why we're staying here is because of gravity, because the Earth is spinning so fast.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
our ancestors in Egypt realized that. How did they know that? I don't know. Maybe it was UFOs. Maybe it was aliens. Maybe humans are just smart, and people like to just say, "Oh, we evolved from apes, and we're just stupid apes." Like, and then you just continue that, "Oh, we're just stupid humans, and we're not special."
yeah.
But we're all special, and people just don't live up to their full potential because we've been living our whole
Mhm.
lives saying that we come from monkeys and we're not special. We're just apes on a ball on a rock.
Right. Yeah, I don't even believe that, but yeah, it's so crazy. Honestly, I think they probably did see UFOs. You know, you make a really good point of like open skies and everything. Like they probably did see somebody flying around because they have all of like the stuff that they like have like in great like all that stuff that they kept like it just yeah, I totally think they had some type of
Yeah, like they're like the
something.
carvings and stuff on the wall and
Yeah,
like
yeah. Like how would you that's why I think the same thing with mythical creatures. Like why like where did you come up with that? Like who came up with like the first mermaid, the first Yeti, the first like who like thought like that's a thing? Like
so
what happened?
my thing on that is so like things like mermaids and stuff and like yetis and things. I feel like you know, just like do you think that dinosaurs are real? Do you think that do you, because some people did, there are scientists that did fake dinosaur bones.
I I have a lot of mixed feelings about that because I feel like, yeah, some of it's not real. I feel like some scientists, because they really could get everything wrong. Like, I think it's very, I mean, I guess I don't maybe understand the technology that they may have. I just always thought it was very interesting how intricate they got with the details of the dinosaurs, like
Yeah,
how they sounded, how they this, like, how would you figure out how they sounded?
it's
If
all
you
made
don't have
up.
yeah, like you don't have their throats, like
Yeah,
how would you know what the that would come out? And I think maybe they probably mixed up some bones sometimes because some dinosaurs, like at the end of the day, all they have is bones if
yeah,
they do have that. Like they come up with like this whole persona of dinosaurs and it's like it couldn't have even really looked like that, like
yeah. And you then it's just like there's scientists that always want to just be the first person to find something, so they're
right.
willing to go to such great lengths to be like, oh, I found this. This is my dinosaur bone,
Mhm.
even though we made it up. And then like a lot of people like well now we see that dinosaurs supposedly had feathers like a chicken. They weren't reptiles. So
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, like
That would be crazy.
yeah, like
Big
there's a
chickens.
book you know, and they kind of depict on how what because uh it was a velociraptor and it had like chicken feathers, and I was just like, so
Hmm.
is this what a dinosaur actually looked like? Did it not? Was it, because people say that dinosaurs evolved into just smaller birds, like,
Right, right. And
and
they
that
just
was
adapted to their which I think animals do. The animals like woolly mammoths and elephants, like I definitely think they did adapt to like, but that makes sense. Like they're not far off. It's like the same thing, but just a hairy elephant.
yeah.
Like how do we have a T-Rex and now we have an alligator? Like how did that
Alligators were around when like when dinosaurs were around. Alligators and turtles are like the longest living creatures on the planet.
oh,
They
turtles?
turtles and
Oh wow.
alligators. Turtles live to be about like 100 something years old. A tortoise.
That's true. And tortoises, yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, they
Tortoises,
live
they live
very
to be,
long.
they live very long lives. They don't, they age very slow. So do crocodiles. And then like when the meteor hit Earth and killed off
I
all,
don't even believe that happened. Yeah.
and when they killed off all the dinosaurs, they like, supposedly like the crocodiles just chilled in the water, and then they just ate. So like
Mhm.
then like all the other dinosaurs are just dying, and you could just eat the dying dinosaurs. If you're a
Right.
crocodile, you can just drag them into the water and eat them. So you just have
Mhm.
unlimited supply of food. You you don't like you age slow, like so like your race is like lives on.
Right.
Yeah, but then like then they had like other big ass dinosaurs like the megalodon and stuff like that that supposedly lived, and like
Mhm.
supposedly like all the other animals were just giant, like, and now they're just smaller. Like we had
Yeah.
saber-toothed tigers and shit, and like we had,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's just like I don't like you just really don't know what's real anymore, especially like it's just like when you're like a little kid. Like being a little kid is like a conspiracy theory because you think your parents know everything, and then
Mhm.
and then you ask your mom, "Hey mom, how do plants help us breathe?" And your mom doesn't know, and your dad doesn't know. Hey mom, what is like how is the sun here? Like, and your mom,
Mhm.
and then you realize that your parents don't really know shit. Like they're
And your parent, dude, it's so funny you say that because I feel like I'm realizing like that, like within the last year a lot is that when you grow up, like people are really just people.
yeah.
Like it's just like whatever information, they teach themselves, but like they're really just like they just
They
know
try to
whatever
figure
they
it out. They
know.
try to figure it out just like how we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing realizing that.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying don't respect your parents, but like
Right.
it's just like
They're
you,
human.
yeah, you just realize that like, oh, I thought that they knew everything, but they really don't know everything.
Right.
Yeah, and then
That's funny.
yeah, it's fucking wild. Like I said, like I like when people ask me, is everything a conspiracy theory? I'm like, fuck yeah, everything's a conspiracy theory. Because like you don't really know what people's real intentions are unless they really like you can have a conspiracy theory yourself. Like you can
Mhm.
you can be conspiring yourself, and like you don't really know until someone actually tells you what the truth is. And then if they tell you the truth, you might not believe it because you've been lied being lied to for
Mhm.
so long. So then you're just like, I don't know what's real anymore. And like I feel like that's what how where we as like the human race are at right now. We just don't know what's real anymore.
Mhm.
We've just been like lied to so much, and then like the whole like COVID pandemic and stuff, like it's just like it was just all weird, and like
Mhm.
people raging out on each other over wearing masks, not wearing masks, and I'm just like, why does anyone give a fuck? Like, why like we have like as humans, we have gone through the Black Plague, we have gone through like so many different things. We are
Mhm.
way more technologically advanced. Why are we worried about like any of this shit? When
Yeah,
there's
it was
when
like
there's
mass hysteria.
yeah, no, it's not that like how is it over in New Jersey for the is it still bad here?
It isn't as bad. A lot of people are getting vaccinated. Like the church, because the church that I work at, we are one of the vaccination sites because it's a pretty big building. And we within like the last month alone probably vaccinated over like 1,000 people. Like like a lot of vaccination sites, a lot of people getting vaccinated. So it is getting a little better here. But everyone still wears their mask for the most part. Unless like you're at a park or you're walking around, people don't usually wear masks. But I mean, it's getting better than it was for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel about the vaccine since we're talking about conspiracy theories?
I don't want to get the vaccine. I've always been very like even as a kid, like I just never understood why we needed vaccines. I
When we
know
have an immune
people,
system.
yeah, like I know people that have gotten like very sick. One of my cousins ended up in the hospital from her flu vaccine. Like it's just I don't think it's really worth it. I think if you get it, you build an immune system. If you don't get it, then you don't get it. You don't have to like pain yourself with the shot really. And some of the stuff that they make, like I know that some of the stuff they make it with, like aborted baby cells.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. I'm pro-choice. You know, I'm not like pro like get an abortion because it takes, you know, a lot of toll on your body, but I am pro-choice.
Yeah.
And I don't want aborted baby cells in me. I just like it just doesn't sit like no.
No, like and like okay, here's another you know, since we're talking about abortions and stuff like that. Have you heard of like the abort like I've seen like videos of you know nurse there's been abortion clinic raids and stuff where they actually have like baby parts and like like they've gotten arrested for it. There's been nurses on video bragging about getting $50,000 off of a baby's body. Like if a baby so like on the black market, a baby's body like fresh out of the womb is $150,000 to $50,000. Yeah. If it's dead, 50,000, alive, $150,000. Because you could use the organs, you can use so many stuff. And people, it's just like so John of God. You know who John of God is? He was on Oprah Winfrey's. He was on the Oprah Winfrey show, and Oprah Winfrey was like, "This man, John of God, is so amazing." She had him on his show and everything. And guess what? John of God got arrested for? He ran a baby farm on an island. He ran a baby farm, and he was selling babies, and he was forcing women and children to have kids. And then when the women couldn't have kids anymore, he'd kill them. And he would sell baby parts. And then Oprah, like she, so like she.
That episode did not age well.
Yeah, she, and then this is where we get into Jeffrey Epstein and Weinstein and stuff like that. She used to say, "I love Eric Weinstein, he's such a great man," and blah 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 blah. And like she would, and I'm just like, oh, this bitch Oprah is is knee deep in this shit. Like
wasn't she on one of the travel logs?
I think so, yeah.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah, there were a lot of people on that.
A lot of people on that.
There were a lot of people on that log, and yeah. Well, and no one's talking about it now. No one is talking about it.
No, and, it's so weird.
You know what the crazy part is? Even though I don't fuck with him, guess who wasn't on that travel log? That was the president, Trump. He was on the travel log.
Oh God! But, some people, but the crazy like part Beyonce was on there.
Yeah, but guess who snitched on Jeffrey Epstein? Donald fucking Trump did. Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't have been locked up if Trump didn't snitch on him. Yeah, no one talks about that. Even though Donald Trump was a fucking asshole, at least like
he definitely is. Yeah, I'll give. He opened the door.
Much. He opened the door for all conspiracy theorists to just go wild, honestly, and to just do research. Like people that were caught up in like, oh, I hate this dude, or we're against this or we're against that. I was sitting back analyzing all the information, and I was just like, yo, this dude is fucking like there was this one part where he went to this. You should watch it. It's like this little dinner ball that all the government officials go to. And he was doing jokes and making fun of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and Donald Trump makes this last joke. He says Hillary Clinton has taken a lot of villages, like in Haiti.
Oh my goodness!
And I was just like, yo, this dude's gonna get either fucking killed or he's gonna get impeached. And like you ruffle like, and you rattle that kind of box, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that kind of. You're gonna like. I've never like I said, like I don't like, I'm like, that dude's a fucking asshole, but like I have never seen someone just go up on stage and say
and say something like that. Yeah.
and I was watching the video. I looked at everyone's face. They were all scared. They all look fucking scared. And I was just like, yo, something is, I was like, they don't have scary looking faces and they don't look terrified for no reason.
Yeah. The Clintons, I feel like there's some people in the world that are so evil that their bodies start to look really gross. And I feel like that's happening with Bill Clinton. Like he looks, No, and I really don't, I hate to say like I hate to comment on someone how they look. I really do.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's some people that they're just like, there's something so wrong with their spirit that it like manifests on the outside.
Yeah. Have you
Like
ever
you
heard
just
of adrenochrome?
no.
So adrenochrome, like it's a real it's so like we all produce adrenochrome. So like it's
Mm-hmm.
basically like when you're scared as fuck and like your adrenaline's kicking, like
Mm-hmm.
it's adrenochrome is the chemical component to adrenaline, which
Oh,
makes
okay.
like your blood rush. So adrenochrome, they say, I guess you know a lot of powerful people drink it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much scared baby blood and scared kid blood. Yeah, and like from what I hear, they scare the shit out of the fucking kids, and then they fucking kill them,
Wow.
and then they take the blood from them. But that is what, like, you know, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just research and stuff, and like if you want to go deep into those kind of things, but there's always been like a cultural practice
Of use of
of
blood
doing
and
that,
stuff, right? Yeah.
of doing that. So like,
Mhm.
I'm just like, I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true.
It's just yeah, I don't even like, I don't think anyone's aware that they're gonna die one day. Like you're doing
Yeah,
all of this just to die one day. It's
um,
so crazy.
yeah.
But
We
yeah,
live in a
that
crazy fucking world.
a
I
chaotic
actually
world.
want to I do want to because one of the things that I heard about this, I actually listened to a podcast about I think it was New Jersey, and like this, like it was like the history of like New Jersey, and like was it, I think it is, I think it is Jersey, and like the architecture and stuff like that, and like the Freemason like symbolism out there, and
Yes,
like
yes.
I heard like I heard that there's like that that there's portals like around there that people it's fucking crazy, like the things I've heard about it's it's this guy named Ross I'll send you his link, but
Yeah.
he's from New Jersey, and like he does like history like breakdowns and stuff of New Jersey, and it's fucking crazy. Like I didn't know like the history of New Jersey like was like that, like runs that deep with like occultism and like
Hmm.
the actual creation of America, and like everything that like you know how America is ran. It's fucking crazy.
No, it is crazy. It's so Freemason is definitely a thing here. Now I don't, because I feel like some people like get into stuff like, you know how like stupid teenagers are on the internet and they see something and they're like, oh, that's cool, and like get into stupid stuff for no reason. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
some of it's that because Freemasons wouldn't per se like broadcast that to the whole world because you're a Freemason. But I have seen quite a bit of it, so it's definitely a thing here. They're not like out in the open. They're very there's only one person I've ever seen that I knew was into the Freemason stuff from like a distance, though. I never like went up to them, and I mean they looked like a normal everyday, but I think a lot of them are very normal everyday people.
Yeah.
The architecture though, my one of my brothers actually, again, my every one of my family is like so into all these conspiracy, like you can sit down with us and dinner is going to be conspiracies, like that's
Uh,
every single time we sit down it's always something really off the wall that makes no sense at all.
yeah.
But one of my brothers, he actually brought this up to me, I think like last year, how the architecture was on purpose. Like the way they built stuff was very plain and like robotic in ways.
Mm.
I have to ask him more on how in depth, but he explained this whole like history behind it and how it goes back to like even roots in like Europe and how like that whole thing translated over here.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like architecture things that they have here that are very weird. And again, the Trade Center I think is one of them because it's
Yeah.
not, you look at it and it's not like they try to make it out to be like, oh, we should be proud that we were able to rebuild and this, that, and the next, and they sell it as some type of like stupid symbol of freedom now. And you look at it and it's just sad and creepy and just like it looks like corrupt if a building could look corrupt. Like it's
Yeah.
very weird. It's
Yeah.
very weird. I don't feel freedom. I feel like fear. It's yeah. There's definitely some architecture over here that's very weird.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Twitter, Instagram. Do you wanna plug anything? Do you want to plug any of those?
No, I don't have anything going on. Interesting. I don't have anything, you guys.
No,
I'm
I
not
mean,
doing
I
stuff.
definitely, no, you're definitely a very interesting person. You know, anyone that looks into conspiracy theories is obviously looking outside of the box. You know, I would, continue to look into like those conspiracy theories, start writing blogs and stuff like that. You're obviously really into it, and you're a part of
Yeah.
it and stuff like that. And you do like the history on New Jersey and stuff, and like actually go to like those
Mhm.
buildings, and you could document like your own experiences and stuff.
That's true. And I've
Yeah,
always, what's so funny? I've always thought about like doing a podcast because I'm so into all that stuff.
yeah,
But I don't know, maybe.
yeah. Well, if you don't have anything to plug, thank you
Yeah,
for
I'm good.
coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you come back on and we can talk about some other conspiracy theories, because you already know I'm already down. I'm all about that action.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but other than that, thank you for coming on to the Scottie Show. And peace, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.